Hello and welcome to episode 6. Yes, episode 6 of Learn Minecraft. My name is SpiderZ, and today we are going to be enchanting things. However, before we start that, I waited a whole bunch of nights without sleeping, and it looks like we've got some phantoms spawning, finally. So, I will show these off. There is one right there. Absolutely terrifying. They are the only flying monster in the overworld that you have to deal with. They make terrifying sounds, and they do a fair amount of damage. We're wearing all iron armor, so it's not doing too much to us right now. But anyways, they will fly around for a while, and they swoop down and attack you. Now, if you hit them while they're trying to swoop down and attack you, they will actually turn around and stop their attack. So it is possible to stop them before they hit you. Bows are really useful for shooting them, but I don't have enough arrows. What are you doing? Why are you here? Now, there are ways to prevent phantoms from spawning, one of which you can just turn them off as one of the game rules, actually. But also, if you just sleep in a bed every few nights, they will actually not spawn. I think it takes 3 consecutive nights without sleeping before they will spawn on the 4th night. If they are interrupted in their charge towards you, such as with bamboo, which is really good for blocking them, actually, I found out. If you're like standing in the middle of a bamboo patch and they swoop down and they hit one of these, they'll actually stop trying to swoop on you and they'll turn around and run away or fly away. If it becomes daytime, they will actually light on fire and die. And the only way that they will spawn, in addition to it having to have been enough nights without you sleeping, is if there is open sky, or at least fairly open sky above you. For example, if I'm inside of my house, they actually won't spawn. If I'm under some thick trees and stuff like that, they won't spawn. However, I believe that if you have a glass roof above you, they can still spawn. Or if there's just open sky like this. It has to be a certain light level above your head. Or patency? Opacity? I don't know. To the sky above. But, yeah, so that's the basic of phantoms. They don't like continuously spawn like other mobs. Apparently, according to the Minecraft wiki, it checks every 2 minutes to see if the conditions for them to spawn are met. And let's say that I went and stood inside of my house when that 2 minutes was up and it checked and saw, whoops, there's not clear sky above me, then they would not spawn and it would take another couple of minutes before they would. But yeah, anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and sleep now, and then when I come back, we'll get into enchanting. Hello guys, I am back and I have got everything that we are going to need for this enchanting tutorial today. So all of the things that you will need are up here on the top and second rows, and this stuff down here on the bottom is just some extra stuff that if you have any enchanted items already, it might be useful. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop in here real quick because we're going to need to cook up some of this cobblestone. Throw in a few extra pieces just so that this coal that I'm using doesn't go to waste, but we want this stone. And using that stone, we're going to use it to make a grindstone, which can be used to put enchanted items in, and then it will unenchant them and give you some of the experience back. Now, we're not going to do this to all of these items, but I figured that I would grab all of the enchanted items that we have so far. So to make a grindstone, you want to take your 3 pieces of stone, throw it in like so, and you will get a stone slab. Place, well, one second. We're going to need some wooden planks, some sticks. I've already got sticks. So place the wooden planks like that, sticks like that, then place the stone slab in the middle, and you will get a grindstone. And then we already made an anvil earlier, so I will show you how to make it, but I don't think that I will be making another one because I do not need a whole bunch of anvils, but to make an anvil, you just go like this, 4 iron, 3 iron blocks, and you get your anvil. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the blocks back. I'm going to grab this anvil and take it back with us. And you want to make sure before you start enchanting that you are at least level 30. That will be very important, as it takes being level 30 at a minimum to reach the highest level enchantment possible. So we will take our crafting table and throw it down. We will take our anvil and we will throw it down. Then we will take our grindstone and throw it down. Now let's get started on actually making the enchantment setup. What you're going to want to do is take the obsidian. You need 4. Place it like so in an upside down T. Get 2 diamonds. And then you can take a book, which I'll show you how to make in just a second. Place it at the top, and this will give you an enchantment table. Go ahead and take that enchantment table and we'll put it down right. Let's put it down right here. And as you can see, there will be a floating book on top that when you get close will open up. Now, you can actually enchant items like this. However, you will not get very good enchantments because you need to actually put bookcases in a ring around the enchantment table for it to be effective. The maximum number of bookcases that you can use is 15, and you can stack them too high, but they have to be 1 block away. So I'll show you how to do that in just a moment, but we'll take our sugar cane here, and if you spread it out like that on the bottom, it will give you paper. So we'll just convert all of this into paper, and it will give us a whole bunch, and we'll take this paper and we'll split it again like that. Split and drag, split and drag, and then we'll take our leather and put it down, and this is how you make books. You can have this in any configuration you want, but there you go, and there. So we got 52 books. Now, unfortunately, this does take a lot of wood. And in fact, I'm probably going to need to grab some more wood for this. But take, oh, maybe not, should be fine actually. Take it like this, and we want 15. Actually, we'll make 16 because it will look a little bit better. Oops, we made whatever, that's fine. So now we have got our bookcases, and you want to put them down like so. Right? Hold on. Actually, for aesthetic purposes, I think I would prefer to have it like this. I'm going to have to remake one of those bookcases. So I'll go ahead and take these books, go like that, go like that, get myself a bookcase again. Here we go. And this torch, unfortunately, is blocking the ability, so you want to move it. But if you will notice, there are these particles coming off of the bookcases and going towards the enchantment table. That's how you know that you were successful in creating this enchantment setup. Now, before we get into actual enchanting, I'm going to show you about the well, I'll start with the anvil. So with the anvil here, you can actually combine enchanted items or combine non-enchanted items with enchanted items to transfer those enchantments to them. So I got both of these bows here from fishing. One's a power 4, one's a power 4 Unbreaking 3 Infinity bow. I will talk about the different enchantments in a minute. But if you look, if we put both of them in here, it will actually let us combine them at the cost of 7 levels. And if you notice, it has more durability than both of them. And it also combined the 2 power 4s to make power 5. One important thing is that whenever you're doing this, always try flipping it around and see if it's cheaper. In this case, it is not. It is 21 levels to do that, whereas it is only 7 levels to do that. Now, we are not going to be combining those because there's no point, but what we can do with the, well, hold on. Another thing that you can do actually is you can take a non-enchanted or enchanted item, and you can take a enchanted book and put it in here, and then it will transfer any applicable enchantments to that item. Now, moving on to the grindstone, like I said, this is how you can put enchanted items in and then take the enchantments off, and it will give you some levels back. So if you notice, we're at 33 levels right there, kind of at the second bar. Let's see how many we get back. We don't really need Golden Thorns boots, so there we go. So it gave us a decent amount, actually. At level 33, each level that you level up, it's harder to, or you need more experience before it will let you to the next level. So at level 33, that's getting kind of up there, so that's pretty decent. Let's see, are there any others that I would be fine getting rid of? At the moment, I do not believe so, because I think all of the rest of these are useful for the time being. Now, we need to make some items to actually enchant. We have lots of iron items, but I don't necessarily recommend that you enchant iron items because they have such a low durability, anywhere between 100 and, I think I saw 165 is the lowest at the helmet, to 240. So yeah, definitely enchant diamond, because if you look at this diamond pickaxe down there at the bottom right, it shows durability. Maximum durability is 1561. So it's definitely more worth your while to enchant diamond items than to enchant regular. So we're going to go ahead and make a new diamond pickaxe. You should always try to enchant new items. And we'll make a diamond axe because I do love my axes. And let's see, what else can we make? We'll go ahead and make a diamond sword just for the heck of it. And we could make a chest plate. We could. Or we could save it to maybe make multiple pickaxes or axes. We'll see. Now, we have all of our diamond items right here. And we are going to need this lapis there to enchant. Let me get some of this junk out of my inventory now that we don't need it anymore. So you right click on the enchantment table and you put whatever item in you want. We'll go ahead and shift click those lapis in. And if you hover over each of these, it will actually tell you the first enchantment that the item will have on it. Now, this right here is showing that you need to be at least level 7 to enchant for this, and it will cost you 1 level. So we are level 33, we are well past level 7, and it would cost us 1 level to enchant this, which means that it would bring us down to 32. This also, you need to be at least level 7, but it would cost us 2 levels, which means that it's more likely to be a better enchantment. And this one requires us to be level 30, and it costs 3 levels. So this is the best possible enchantment that we could get on it. And right now it's only showing Unbreaking 3, which is common. Now, an interesting thing is that when you enchant an item, it can actually have multiple enchantments on it. It just shows you the first one, though. So it's only showing us Unbreaking 3. That might be all that it has on it, or it might have a bunch more, but we don't know without enchanting. Typically, I don't like to enchant when it just shows Unbreaking 3 because that's not necessarily what I'm going after. I like to pick out the key ones that I like, such as looting or fortune or silk touch, etc., or mending for sure, but I'm not even sure if it will show you mending. So if we put in the axe, though, each item that you put in will have a different possible enchantment. So this is showing Fortune 3, which would be really nice on the pickaxe, but this is on the axe. And Fortune 3 is not crazy useful on an axe, so definitely don't want to enchant that this time. But we'll check out the diamond pickaxe now, and it does show Fortune 3. That is the best That's the prime enchantment that you want on a diamond pickaxe early game. That will allow us when we mine diamonds to get more diamonds. It'll allow us when we mine redstone to get more redstone, more lapis, etc. So that is definitely the one that we're going to enchant this time. However, before we do that, we'll go ahead and talk about, let's say that none of those that we got there were preferable. Anytime that you enchant something, it resets all of those options down there. And it doesn't matter what you enchant, it will reset it. So if we didn't like any of those, we could throw in just an iron something and spend one level to get something junky on it, probably junky, and that will completely reset the whole enchanting table, and it will bring it back so that we have new, fresh options. You can enchant diamond if you would like, but the issue is that then you're wasting your diamonds on a bad enchantment. So I would recommend enchanting something iron that you still might end up using, but that it won't cost you a whole lot. Now you can also enchant books, and so we'll just throw a book in to see what that is. So Smite, Bane of Arthropods, and Knockback 2. The interesting thing about enchanting books is that you can get multiple enchantments on it, just like with the tools and weapons and armor and stuff like that. The difference, though, is that if you get multiple enchantments on it, they might not all end up being useful. For example, Knockback is only for a sword, but let's say that I also got the Infinity enchantment on this book, so I had Knockback and Infinity. If I put this book on a sword, since only Knockback can be applied to the sword, the Infinity enchantment would just be completely lost. And vice versa, if I put this book onto a bow, only the Infinity enchantment can be applied to that bow, so the Knockback... Actually, hold on. Let me think. Can Knockback be applied? No, I think that bows have their own. Actually, I'm not sure. Knockback might be able to be applied to bows. But anyways, so either just the Infinity or also the Knockback could be applied. But as I said before, we got that looting or fortune 3 on the pickaxe, so that is definitely what we're going to go for. It's going to cost us 3 levels, and it's going to cost us 3 of these lapis. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Boom. Let's hope that we got more than just the fortune, but I'm fine with just the fortune. So awesome, we got fortune 3, efficiency 4. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this pickaxe only has the 1561 durability, which means that this book right here with the Unbreaking 3, it makes tools, weapons, and armor last longer. So it would be ideal if we combined both of these so that I would have Fortune 3, Efficiency 4, and Unbreaking 3. The best enchantment to make sure that your tools, weapons, and armors basically are invincible is Mending, but that is one of the rarest enchantments that you can get. So I'm not going to hold my breath for a Mending enchantment anytime soon. But we will go ahead and check out some of these other items and see what options we have. We have Knockback 2, not a fan of Knockback. We have Unbreaking 3, not a fan of enchanting on Unbreaking. Also Unbreaking 3 if we did another pickaxe. I am not a fan of any of those so far. Efficiency 3, Thorns. I am not a fan of any of that. Well, perhaps I will go ahead and make a diamond chestplate and see if there's any cool enchantments on this. Breaking 3. Hello. Oops, shouldn't have used that. Oh well, doesn't matter, too late. At least we know it works. Tough, tough, tough. Well, for the sake of maybe getting something cool, I think that... That's right, that was Knockback, this was Unbreaking. I think I'm going to go for the chest plate and just hope it's something good. So let's see. And look at that. That is pretty darn good. So if you look at this, this has Unbreaking 3, Thorns 2, and Protection 3. Thorns basically makes it so that anytime something attacks you, it takes damage as well. Protection just adds extra, basically makes your armor stronger so that it does a better job of protecting you. So unfortunately we are now at 27 levels, which means that we are not high enough to enchant that level 30 enchantment, but that is all right. While we are here though, I'm going to go ahead and spend some of my levels to put Unbreaking 3 onto this pickaxe. It will only cost us 3 levels, which is not bad at all, and this will make it last a lot longer until we can get Mending on it. So go ahead and awesome. Now, one thing to note about our armor is that there are some enchantments. Hello, I am back. It has been like 18 hours since I was last recording. Like halfway through recording that little last bit, one of my friends knocked on my door and they were holding a surprise birthday party for me. So, yeah. Anyways, I didn't get a chance to get back to here until now, but I do want to go through all of the different enchantments and what they do and what items they can be placed on with you guys. So I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. The first one is Aqua Affinity. We actually have a helmet with Aqua Affinity. Aqua Affinity can be applied to helmets, and basically what it does is it increases your mining speed underwater considerably. I believe that it just like eliminates all of the debuffs that you get from mining underwater, or at least close to it. And the next enchantment that you can get is Bane of Arthropods, which can only be applied to swords and axes on Bedrock Edition. Actually Java Edition as well. And it has a max level of 5, and basically Bane of Arthropods makes it so that it's easier for you to kill spiders, cave spiders, silverfish, and endermites, and bees. It's pretty good, but it's incompatible with a item that already has sharpness or smite on it, which we'll get to in a minute. So the next one alphabetically is Blast Protection. Blast Protection can be applied to any type of armor, and basically what it does is it makes you more resistant to explosions such as by TNT, creepers, bed explosions, ender crystals, what say you. It also reduces knockback. So if someone smacks you with some knockback, or an explosion would knock you back, you would not go as far if you had blast protection on your armor. And it is incompatible with fire protection, projectile protection, and just plain protection. So the next one is Channeling, which is only available on Tridents, and Channeling's pretty neat. If you're in the middle of a thunderstorm, you can use a trident with channeling, and anywhere you throw the trident, lightning will strike. So that is super useful for getting charged creepers and shocking. I believe that if you shock, what is it, pigs with lightning, they'll turn into zombie pigmen. Not zombie pigmen. Piglins? I don't know, I'm still not super familiar with the new Nether update and how that changed all of the creatures in the Nether. But it is incompatible with Riptide. The next, looks like I'm going to skip that one because that one's not in the game yet. So next there is Curse of Binding, which is, there's actually enchantments in the game that you don't want because they're actually bad. Curse of Binding is one of them, and it can be applied to any type of armor, and basically what it is if you put that piece of armor on with Curse of Binding, you cannot take it off until you die. So especially in like hardcore mode, Curse of Binding would be your worst friend if you accidentally threw like a bad piece of armor on, or you just have to wear it until it broke. And then there is Curse of Vanishing, which is also one of the bad enchantments you don't want. Curse of Vanishing makes it so that if you die while you have that item in your inventory, the item is deleted forever. So, and that enchantment can appear on anything. Do any of our items? No, none of our items had it. I had a fishing rod earlier that I'd gotten that had Curse of Vanishing. But yeah, and then there is Depth Strider, which is only available on boots. And Depth Strider makes it so that you can walk faster underwater, or move faster underwater, I should say. And it is incompatible with Frostwalker, and the max enchantment for Depth Strider is level 3. Efficiency, which we have on our pickaxe, basically makes it so that you mine items faster, and you can get it on pickaxes, shovels, axes, hoes, and it says shears. I don't think that's true. I don't think you can actually enchant shears, can you? I'm curious now. Let's test this out, because I don't know if I believe that. Do I not have... Although... Come on, Nexus Way. Okay, well, alright. I don't know what happened to my shears, but I use shears fairly often. Let's go like this. See, can we? Yeah, no, can't. Maybe if you had like a book or something. I don't know. The Minecraft wiki claims you can. So the next enchantment is Feather Falling. Feather Falling makes it so that you take less fall damage. Max enchantment level is 4, only can be applied to boots. Fire Aspect is can only be applied to swords, and basically what it does is when you hit something, it lights it on fire. This is super useful for if you're killing animals, because it will automatically cook the meat if they die while they're still on fire. And the max level for that is 2. And then there is Fire Protection, which is incompatible with Blast Protection, Protection, or Projectile Protection, and it basically just makes it so that you take less fire damage. Super useful in the Nether. Can be applied to any armor piece. Max level is 4. And then there is Flame, which can be gotten on bows. And Flame just makes it so that you shoot flaming arrows. And then there is Fortune, which we have on our pickaxe, and it makes it so that certain items that you mine, you get more of that item, such as diamonds, you have a chance of getting more than just the 1 diamond. You can get several diamonds instead, and it can be applied to pickaxes, shovels, axes, and hoes. Then there is Frostwalker. Frostwalker is actually pretty nice, and it can only be applied to boots, but it makes it so that whenever you walk on water, ice will form below you so that you can like just quickly run across oceans or lakes, etc. And it is incompatible with Depth Strider. And it's important to note that the ice blocks aren't actual real ice blocks, they break after a short amount of time. Then there is Impaling, which is only on tridents, and it just does additional damage when you use your trident. And max level for that is 5. Then there is Infinity, which is only for bows, and yes, we do have an infinity bow, but it's basically broken. Infinity makes it so that when you shoot your bow, you don't use up any arrows. So you only need to carry 1 arrow with you, and then you don't ever have to have more. But it is incompatible with Mending, which is that enchantment that basically makes your items like last forever. So there is then Knockback only for swords. It just increases the knockback that you have on your swords so that when you hit something, it goes flying back farther. There is Looting, which is only for swords. Max level is 3, and Looting just makes it so that any creatures that you kill with your sword drop more of whatever they normally drop. So normally when you kill an Enderman, you have a chance of getting like 0 to 1 ender pearls, but if you kill an enderman with a level 3 looting sword, then you have a chance of them dropping like 3 or 4 maybe, not sure. Then there is the enchantment Loyalty, which is only for tridents, and max level is 3, and what that does is that when you throw your trident, it will return to you, and the higher the level, the shorter the amount of time it takes for it to come back to you, but it is incompatible with Riptide. There is Luck of the Sea, which we are still working on getting. It is only for fishing rods. It makes it so that you have a higher chance of getting treasure loot from fishing. Max level is 3. Then there is Lure, which decreases the amount of time that you have to wait for a fish to bite your rod or something to make your bobber go up and down. And it can only be applied to fishing rods. Max level is 3. There is Mending, the best enchantment in the game. It can be applied to any enchantable object, and it basically just makes it so that you can repair the items at the expense of experience, which you can do using like the anvils and stuff like that. The issue is that each time you repair an item, it gets more and more expensive until eventually it will just say that it's too expensive and you can't even repair it anymore. Then there is Multi-Shot, which is only for crossbows, and it's just like it sounds. Basically, you shoot multiple crossbow bolts or arrows, and it is incompatible with the enchantment Piercing. And then there is the enchantment Piercing, also only for crossbows, and basically it just does your arrows can pass through multiple targets and keep going. So let's say that you had a line of like 3 zombies and you shot one in the front one in the head. It could go straight through their head and you could get like a triple headshot. Then there is Power, only for bows, and it's basically just increases the damage of your bow. Then there is Projectile Protection, which is only for your armor pieces, and it basically just makes it so that you take less damage from projectiles of any kind. And then there is Protection, which is just all around like general damage protection. So it's like less protection than like blast protection or like projectile protection or fire protection. Like it does less in each of those categories, but you get like a little bit of protection from basically everything or almost all types of damage. So super duper duper useful, because then you get a little bit of everything, and then you can use like the blast protection or the projectile protection in specific cases when you know that you're going to run into that more. Or for example, having a special set of fire protection armor just for the nether, if you don't have fire resistance potions yet. Then there is the enchantment Punch, which is only for bows, which just adds more knockback to your bow. There is Quick Charge for crossbows, which just allows you to reload them quicker. There is Respiration, which is only for helmets, which increases the amount of time that you can go underwater without needing to breathe. There is Riptide for tridents, which makes it so that if you're in a rainstorm or in the water, when you like throw your trident, basically you get thrown with it and you can like fly up high in the air and do all kinds of crazy things flying around. And Riptide is incompatible with channeling and loyalty, unfortunately. Then there is Sharpness, which can be applied to swords, and it looks like axes as well. It is incompatible with Bane of Arthropods and Smite, and it just increases the damage. There is Silk Touch, which is one of the most important utility enchantments in the game. Basically, it allows you to pick up blocks that you normally otherwise wouldn't be able to, such as, for example, if we were to go over here to this grass block here, and we break it, it doesn't actually drop a grass block, it just drops dirt. And then we'd have to replant it and then wait for the grass to grow back onto it. However, if you have Silk Touch, if you mine this using it instead, it would give you this actual grass block. You could just transplant it that way. And there's all kinds of other cool items that normally you can't get without Silk Touch. So yeah, super cool and useful enchantment. And it can be applied to pickaxes, shovels, axes, and hoes. Still claims that you can get it on shears. I don't think I believe that. And then Smite, which can only be applied to swords, and this is axes too, actually. And it's incompatible with Bane of Arthropods and Sharpness, but what it does is it gives you increased damage to undead things, such as like zombies and skeletons. So Sharpness in the like weapon world is kind of the same as like protection in the like armor world. Basically, like Sharpness is like general increased damage, but not to as high of a degree as like Smite or Bane of Arthropods would be for those specific mobs. So just for an example, like if I had Smite, let's say that I did like 3 extra damage to a zombie, but if I had Sharpness, I would only do like 1 extra damage. But I would do that extra damage to like all types of mobs. So it's one of those trade-offs where if you know that you're going to be facing or killing a bunch of a specific mob, then you should invest in getting like the specified like Bane of Arthropods or Smite, but otherwise you should just go with Sharpness. The next enchantment is one of the new ones in the Nether update, and it is Soul Speed and allows you to walk faster on soul sand or soul soil. You can actually move crazy fast. I believe faster than you can like walk on normal things, so it's definitely worthwhile getting. The next one is Sweeping Edge, which is for swords only, and basically it increases the sweeping attack, which I have not gone over yet actually. Let's see if I can do one here. But basically with axes you deal more damage per hit, but you can only hit one creature, one monster at a time. Whereas with the swords, you can also hit one at a time, but if you do it right, you can also hit multiple at a time. So there you go. You saw we hit like every single one in the pen almost with that sweeping attack. So Sweeping Edge just does more damage to that sweeping attack because the sweeping attack is a little bit weaker than your like one monster hit. Then there is Thorns, which is only for armor pieces, and I don't know, the Minecraft wiki is so weird for what it says that it's available on. Anyways, it's available on all armor pieces, and when something damages you, it basically just reflects some of that damage back on them. And it has a max level of 3, so at level 3, if you've got a full set of Thorns armor, like someone smacks you with an axe, yeah, it's going to hurt you, but it's going to hurt them pretty bad too. And then finally, the last enchantment is Unbreaking, and Unbreaking just makes it so that it doesn't actually increase the durability of your items, but instead what it does is it like does a little randomized roll thing where every time that your like weapons or armor or tools would take damage, it like does a random calculated thing where it may or may not actually take damage. And the higher the level, the less chance of it actually taking damage. So like on average, if you have Unbreaking 3, your tools will last like 3 to 4 times as long as they normally would, which for diamond anything basically makes them last for almost ever. But it still is worthwhile getting mending on them. But yeah, that's going to oh, by the way, Unbreaking can be applied to anything that can be enchanted. So yeah, that does it for all the different enchantments, and we'll have to go over in a separate episode ways to quickly and easily get experience, but I hope this helps you guys out. If there's anything else you'd like to see related to enchantments, let me know down in the comment section. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and my name is SpiderZ. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you tomorrow.